I was standing in line at Riverside Pharmacy when a woman in zebra print yoga pants grabbed my cane and tried to yank it from my hands. She pulled so hard that I nearly lost my balance, and several customers gasped as she wrestled with the polished walnut handle like it was the last flat-screen TV on Black Friday. The reason she wanted my mobility aid was absolutely absurd. She planned to use it as a prop to pretend she was a senior citizen and save $5 on her purchase. My name is Harold Brennan, and I'm 64 years old with 2 bad knees from 30 years of climbing telephone poles for the phone company. That Tuesday afternoon, I had driven to the pharmacy in Meadowbrook, Georgia, just to pick up my arthritis medication and maybe grab a bottle of aspirin. The woman attacking me was Patricia Hastings, a 43-year-old real estate agent notorious throughout our town for causing scenes wherever she went. Just last month, she'd been banned from the local grocery store for opening packages of grapes and eating them while shopping, then refusing to pay because, as she put it, she hadn't liked the taste. The pharmacy was packed with people picking up prescriptions after work, and every single one of them stopped what they were doing to stare at this woman trying to steal my cane. Patricia's face was red with exertion as she tugged harder, her voice rising to a shriek that made the pharmacist peek out from behind the counter. She kept insisting that I was being selfish and that young people like her deserved the same discounts as seniors because life was expensive for everyone. Patricia finally let go of my cane long enough to jab her finger in my chest, leaving a small bruise I discovered later. She announced to everyone within earshot that she'd been watching me walk and that I didn't really need the cane, that I was just another greedy old person hoarding benefits from hardworking younger generations. The irony of a woman driving a brand new Mercedes calling me greedy while trying to steal $5 wasn't lost on the crowd that had gathered around us. Several people had their phones out, recording the entire incident, and Patricia seemed to love the attention. She actually posed for the cameras, flipping her bleached blonde hair over her shoulder and declaring that she was standing up for millennial rights. When someone pointed out that 43 made her Generation X, not a millennial, she screamed that age was just a number and stormed back toward me with renewed determination to get my cane. The confrontation escalated when Patricia grabbed my cane again and actually succeeded in wrenching it away from me. I had to catch myself on a nearby shelf of vitamins to keep from falling, and my knee sent a sharp spike of pain up my leg. She held my cane above her head like a trophy, spinning around to address her audience of smartphone cameras. She declared that she was taking a stand against ageism and that if stores were going to discriminate by offering senior discounts, then anyone should be able to claim them. Patricia marched up to the pharmacy counter, where a terrified 20-year-old cashier named Tyler was working. She slammed my cane down on the counter so hard that it knocked over a display of hand sanitizer, then demanded that Tyler give her the senior citizen discount on her purchase of designer sunglasses and premium face cream. When Tyler politely explained that the discount required proof of age, Patricia hunched over my cane dramatically and affected a trembling voice, claiming she was 72 years old and had forgotten her ID at home. Tyler looked like he wanted to disappear into the floor as Patricia continued her performance, hobbling back and forth in front of the counter while muttering about her fictional hip replacement. The other customers in line were recording everything, and I could hear people whispering about whether someone should call the police. Patricia must have heard them too because she suddenly straightened up and declared that calling the police on her would be harassment since she hadn't done anything illegal. That's when I decided to handle things differently. Instead of arguing with Patricia or trying to physically retrieve my cane, I calmly pulled out my phone and my AARP card. I showed Tyler my senior citizen ID and told him to go ahead and ring up both Patricia's items and mine together and to apply my legitimate senior discount to the entire purchase. The entire pharmacy fell silent as everyone processed what I had just offered. Patricia's face went through several expressions in rapid succession: confusion, suspicion, and finally rage when she realized what I was doing. She started screaming that I was trying to trick her somehow, that this was probably illegal, and that she didn't need my charity. I simply smiled and asked Tyler to also add a nice box of chocolates to the order, the expensive Swiss ones from behind the counter, as a gift for the lady. While Patricia was distracted by her own outrage, I quietly asked Tyler to check the security footage from the last 10 minutes. I pointed out that the cameras would clearly show Patricia assaulting me, stealing my property, and attempting to commit fraud by lying about her age for financial gain. Tyler's eyes widened as he realized the implications, and he immediately called for the store manager while keeping one hand near the emergency button under the counter. Patricia must have realized her mistake because she suddenly tried to leave, but in her panic, she forgot she was still pretending to need my cane. She attempted to run while simultaneously maintaining her elderly person act, which resulted in her tripping over her own feet and crashing into an entire display of fiber supplements. Boxes of super colonic health formula rained down on her as she sprawled on the floor, and someone in the crowd actually started a slow clap. The store manager, a no-nonsense woman named Dorothy, arrived just as Patricia was trying to extract herself from the pile of supplement boxes. Dorothy took one look at the scene, reviewed the security footage on her tablet, and immediately called the police. Patricia tried to claim that I had pushed her into the display, but literally dozens of witnesses with video evidence said otherwise. 2 police officers arrived within minutes, and Patricia immediately launched into a sob story about how she was being discriminated against for being young. She claimed I had entrapped her and that the entire pharmacy staff was in on some elaborate scheme to humiliate her. The officers remained stone-faced as they reviewed the security footage and took statements from witnesses, including one elderly woman who said Patricia had pushed her aside earlier to cut in line. Officer James Mitchell, according to his name tag, informed Patricia that she was being charged with assault, theft, attempted fraud, and disturbing the peace. Patricia's jaw dropped as he read her rights, and she kept insisting that stealing a cane wasn't really theft since she'd planned to give it back eventually. Officer Mitchell replied that stealing something temporarily was still stealing and that assault charges didn't care about her eventual intentions. As they led Patricia out in handcuffs, she was still ranting about discrimination and threatening to sue everyone from me to the pharmacy to the entire police department. The crowd followed them outside, still recording, and I heard later that the videos went viral within hours. Someone had even set her fall into the supplement display to classical music, which garnered millions of views on TikTok. I finally got my arthritis medication and my cane back, though I had to give a full statement to the police first. Tyler apologized profusely for the entire incident, though I assured him none of it was his fault. Dorothy gave me a significant discount on my purchase, much more than the senior discount Patricia had been trying to steal, and threw in a pharmacy gift card for my trouble. 3 weeks later, I received a subpoena to testify at Patricia's trial. The prosecutor informed me that this wasn't her first offense. She had a string of similar incidents at various businesses around town. The assault charge was particularly serious because I was over 60, which made it elder abuse under Georgia law, upgrading it from a misdemeanor to a felony. The trial was brief. Patricia's lawyer tried to argue that his client had been having a mental health crisis, but the prosecutor presented evidence of Patricia bragging on social media about her various schemes to get discounts she didn't deserve. There were screenshots of her posts explaining how to manipulate customer service workers and celebrating every time she got away with something. The jury deliberated for less than an hour. Patricia was found guilty on all charges. The judge, clearly frustrated by her complete lack of remorse and her continued insistence that she was the real victim, sentenced her to 6 months in jail, 2 years of probation, 500 hours of community service specifically helping elderly residents, and ordered her to pay $5,000 in fines plus my legal fees. She was also banned from Riverside Pharmacy and 3 other stores where she'd caused similar incidents. The judge also ordered Patricia to attend mandatory anger management classes and pay restitution to the pharmacy for the destroyed supplement display. When he calculated the total financial damage, including the broken products, my medical expenses from aggravating my knee injury, and the pharmacy's lost business during the police investigation, the amount came to an additional $3,200. Patricia's lawyer tried to object, arguing that his client couldn't afford such penalties, but the judge pointed out that anyone who drives a current-year Mercedes and purchases designer sunglasses could certainly manage the payments. As the full weight of her consequences sank in, Patricia's face turned pale. The judge informed her that her real estate license would likely be suspended due to the felony conviction and that she would have to report this conviction on all future job applications. Her company, Hastings Premium Properties, had already released a statement distancing themselves from her actions. When the sentence was read, Patricia screamed that this was age discrimination and demanded a different judge, which only resulted in an additional contempt of court charge and another $1,000 fine. Amen.